to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, Andy Flute. How you doing, Andy?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for coming
really
on.
Good.
I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
And yeah, what a story. You know, we were just having a chat before we came on, but what a story. There's not many people that have been to the depths that you have and have come out of it so well.
Yeah, well, that's all down to God, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whether people who's listening is religious or not, that's what happened. And you know, funnily enough, I'm just going to say this while it's on my mind. I sparred with Nigel Benn in 1991. I'd only been professional a couple of years. And Jimmy Tibbs, famous trainer Jimmy Tibbs, said to me, Jimmy did, he said, God's going to use you one day, Andy. He says, you mark my words. And I laughed at him. I went, get off, Jimmy. I went, don't be silly. He said, Andy, he says, mark my words. He says, will you come to a church with me tonight? And I said, yeah, okay. And he picked me up, took me to a church. I went to the church, only out of courtesy. And that was it. I never thought nothing else of it again. And the sparring finished and off I went. And there I am 30 years later now. Got my own ministry. God using me, going around the country talking. Been on TBN, Christian TV, 3 million views in the UK, 150 countries. Revelation TV, 170 countries, 5 million views in the UK. So Jimmy Tibbs' prediction was right 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, there we go, mate. There we go. God speaks to those, and it's down to us to listen, isn't it? And
yeah.
Incredible. Good old Jimmy Tibbs. And
yeah, he's a lovely man.
Yeah, top bloke. So's Mark. Really lovely family.
Yeah.
But Andy, where did it all begin for you? When did you start boxing?
I started boxing at Bilston Golden Gloves with my dad. My dad was a good boxer. My uncle was a boxer. My brother was a boxer. And I went to the gym at about the age of 3 or 4 years of age, just watching my dad train and everything else. And then I just stayed in the gym, just watching and just hanging around the gyms till I was 11, till I was old enough to fight. I had my first fight at the Park Hall Hotel in Wolverhampton. I boxed a kid named Paul Flood. He'd had 5 and won 4. And so for somebody having the first fight, it was a hard fight. But I'd been training with my dad and some of the pros at Wolverhampton, even though I was only a little kid, because Mike Sendell and Alan Rickers had a gym in Wolverhampton. And they had like Mick Morris, Tony Wilson, Lloyd Christie, Gilpin, Cliff Gilpin, and all them lot, and Dino Wallace and the Garrison brothers. And I used to go up there and train with them as well, and just, as a kid. So I was around the boxing fraternity, and then once I had my first fight at 11, I carried on all the way through till I was 30. I never have a season off. You know what I mean?
That's unbelievable. Your fitness level must have been something else.
Well, it's just, everything I do to excess. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I had well over 100 amateur fights, won about 85% of them. So the only thing would ever beat me was myself, to be honest. But I had a good career. We could have done better, but I think every boxer says that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've spoken to so many, and I was speaking to people that have won British, European world titles, and they still turn around and they go, "Yeah, I could have done better." And you think, bleeding heck, anyone who gets in those ropes, as you all say, Andy, as well, anyone that gets in that ring, hats off to them. That's guts in itself. And to have the career you had, especially your pro career, what was it, 1989 till about 2004 was your pro career?
Yeah. It's,
That's a long time.
Yeah, I never really dedicated enough time really to it, but I was in and out of different business things and everything else. By the time I was 35, I got nearly £1 million, and I could have retired. So I don't really need boxing. I was into all sorts of stuff, you know. I'm not proud of the fact the stuff that I used to get into, the criminal activities and all the things that I did and all the stuff and that. But you know, that's another story. But by the time I was, you know, in my early 30s and stuff like that, I was really well off. So boxing was coming second as I was getting older. You know, when I was early career, I was a bit enthusiastic. Could sell me up a lot. But like I said to you off camera, I never cut. When I was amateur, when I was boxing for England, you know, I never cut. And then as soon as I started celebrating drinking after boxing for England, I never cut in my amateur fights. And then as soon as I was old enough to fight, I turned professional at 19. I started cutting, whether that was to do with the programme's order or whether that's to do with me drinking. My skin, I don't know. Nobody will ever know. You know, I've been told it's because of the drink. It's because it thins your blood and whatever else. But it's funny how I never cut as amateur, and then I cut as a professional once I'd started drinking. So as my professional career was taking off, my drinking career was taking off as well. To be honest.
Yeah. You know? So when did the drinking start, Andy?
As soon as I about 16, 17. You know, I started messing about then, messing about with it. And then boxing for England. I remember going on the young England team, captain the team with 3 Scarsers, Tony Costello, Jimmy Rimmer, John Hayes. When we went to Bulgaria, and I knocked the Bulgarian guy out the second round, and I fought Raymond Garber, the world amateur champion. And then really after that, then we just celebrated and started drinking then. And so like from then, from about 1987, 88, I drank all the way through my career, all the way through. You know, I regret it now, I really do, and to the depths where it took me. But that's what happened. You know, that's you know, that is the truth. What happened? You know, I drank all the way through my career. You know, and I was strong. I was tough. I could take a shot. You know what I mean? Nobody ever put me off my feet or anything like that, in sparring or in anything like toward. And I just, you know, I just thought I could do both. You know what I mean?
Was it a social thing then when it started, or?
Pardon?
Was it a social thing when it started?
Yeah, man. I was just like any other young lad, just, you know, going up. You know, just growing up, just binge drinking every weekend, stuff like that. And but you know, and then I blown up in between fights as well and stuff. And then I'll just, it's always, you know, I don't want to make excuses because I did what I did and that's it. You know what I mean? You know, we could all make excuses, but I never really. I should have stopped drinking altogether and just concentrated on my career. And when I signed for Matchroom with Barry Hearn said, I'll make you world champion. You can take Chris Eubank's place at the top of the tree, because I was his main sparring partner. I sparred him for 6 of his world title fights. He battered loads of champions, loads of British champions, loads of European champions, came and sparred with him. And he put them all on the deck. He couldn't put me on the deck. I stayed the course. And Barry Hearn come and watched the sparring and watched me spar with him and offered me a deal, a good deal. And I took the deal. And I just carried on messing about with my lifestyle. I thought I'd made it before I actually made it. And I made a big mistake. And I paid the price for it, you know. So yeah, but that's another story, you know. When I boxed for the British title as well, I never done that right. Neville Brown had beat his, I thought him at his best. And he's a good guy, Neville, top champion. But I never got in the ring at my best because I run 4 miles in the morning to make the weight before I fought him for a 12-round fight. And there's nothing in it till I got cut. So I never got in the ring at my strongest. I fought Robin Reid at 2 weeks' notice. You know, I fought Glenn Catley, 12-round fight at a week's notice. You know, I fought Seven Odka, Marcus Bayer, just short notice. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I won't bother doing it. Got in the ring with it. I never feared nobody. You know what I mean?
When did you realise for yourself that the drinking was the problem? When did it kind of really hit you that I've got to sort of change here, because you know it's now getting to the point where, like you were saying, your boxing career was taking off, your drinking career was overtaking your boxing career almost, and
Well,
it kind of hit loggerheads as such for you to sort of make that change?
well, to be honest, all the way through my early career, I drank all the way through, and I never had a problem. I could still fight and still win and still do it, and it wasn't a problem then. When I sparred with Chris Eubank, I drank every night. Ronnie Davies used to say, Andy, I don't know how you do it. Why don't you stop drinking? I used to say to him, Ron, if I don't do my job, send me home. And he couldn't, because I was doing my job well, you know. And but it started to get a problem later on, you know, because when I become an alcoholic, I was like in my late 30s. I mean, I'm in the early 30s, sorry. But it had built up. See, alcoholism is a progressive illness. But it had got to the stage where, like, I took it through my career with me all the while, you know. And I drank all the way through my career, on and off, on and off, on and off. But then it really got to a stage where, you know, it took me to it. You know, the early 30s. It took me. I become an alcoholic then, because nobody sets out to become an alcoholic, but it's when your body's had a physical and psychological change, and then it sets a chemical off called acetone in your body, and then you can't stop. You know, and then and that's what happened. First of all, I was just a normal social drinker. Then I become a binge drinker. Then I become a problem drinker. And then I started getting in, like, going to prison and fights, and you know, I got stabbed and I got run over and all sorts of stuff. I brought me back. And then, you know, the writing's on the wall. Then you think, well, I've got to stop now. I've got to stop drinking. You know what I mean? But I thought, I'll do it, you know, but I don't stop. I don't stop. I carried on. I carried on and carried on, you know, smashed my cars up, had a hit and run, nearly killed myself in that. And then the only way out, I thought, you know, was it got to the stage, I lost my marriage to my childhood sweetheart. I was with her about 30 years. I lost my house, I lost my kids. I had houses all paid for abroad as well, some in England, some abroad. And I became a crack addict as well, crack cocaine addict. I'd sniff an whole gram of cocaine in one go, just think it was nothing, like it was nothing. And I'd sniff tequila up the other nostril out of a bottle top. And then I'd just do a grand a day in crack. And that went on for ages, you know, that went on for ages. And I was just like, I'd gone from being a local boxing hero to a local drunk. And then I had to go to prison a few times. But I didn't take it serious at first, you know, because I was a tough guy and I thought I could do it myself, you know. And the first time I went to prison, I said, if you don't give me a cell on my own, I'll fucking beat my pad mate up. You know what I mean? So you better give me a cell on my own, you know. And they give me a cell on my own. And then I went again, and then I went again, and then I nearly went again. And then I come out in 2013. You know, I'd still got bad drink and drug problem, but you know, I decided to try and get help for it and stuff like that. I thought, I don't want to go to prison no more. You know, I mean, like I said, by the time I was 35, I was mad. I'd got like the best part of £1 million, and I squandered the lot. And my divorce cost me a fortune. I squandered the lot. Honest, I squandered the lot. I'm lucky to pick up a few pieces what I had left. I had my apartment. I had 2 apartments left, and a house, you know. But the majority of it all went, you know. But you know, it was all fun at first. You know what I mean? It was all fun, you know. And I love going sparring on the sparring jobs. I love going to Germany, to Cologne, sparring with Bayer, sparring with Odka, because I used to drink the German beer every night, go around the towns and the nightclubs. I used to go to Tenerife sparring. I used to be down Veronica's, having a laugh, you know what I mean, sniffing and drinking, then getting up and sparring the next day. You know, I just lived that lifestyle, and I could do it. I could get away with it because I was tough and I was strong. But eventually, he caught up with me, you know. you know. But I'm here to tell the tale anyway. You know what I mean? And
Well, and that's incredible, Andy. To be honest, that the stuff you've been saying, it's incredible you're still here, mate. To be honest, and like you were saying, the biggest turning point for you, was finding God, wasn't it?
well, I tried to kill myself. I thought, well, the only way out of this is death, because I don't know what else to do. And I'd got that low. I took enough tablets to kill an elephant, to be honest. And I wanted to die. I don't want to live. I really don't want to live. Honest, I would have cried for help. I wanted out. Do you know what I mean? I was that bad. And I took enough tablets, codamol, sleeping tablets, you name it. I got a right bunch full, and it was enough to kill you. And I took all that, and like while I was drunk, I think I drunk about 14 bottles of Jack Daniels or something like that, because I remember a newspaper article doing an article on me, and anyway, I passed out. Anyway, I don't remember none of this anyway. And then I woke up in the hospital. You know, my girlfriend found me, and they took me to the hospital and pumped a solution into me, what saved my life. And then I had the crisis team all around me. And then when the crisis team come to see me, they said, "There's people in this hospital with worse problems than you." So what did I do? I says, "Give 'em fuck off." I got my stuff on and went back out, started drinking. Started it all off again, So, but the thing is, the only way I used to stop drinking then was when my body used to stop me, and I physically couldn't take no more. I used to be spewing blood up and still trying to drink. I remember once drinking a pint of my own sick, because it was nearly pure vodka. And I was used to lie on the bed and I'd shit myself, piss myself. I couldn't have a shave. I couldn't have a shower. I couldn't do anything. I'd gone from a world-class boxer to a fucking recluse. You know what I mean? No shave, no nothing. I was fucking... My dad, who's like with me, he don't know what to do. He don't know what to do. He just thought everybody don't know what to do. They all thought I was a goner, to be honest. You know what I mean? Yeah. They did. They all got... but I managed once I got managed, because I had to stop. I couldn't physically drink no more, and it used to. And I tried to get a Bushy Fields to the rehab, and and all sorts of stuff like that. And I got into Alcoholics Anonymous. But the only thing what saved my life was Alcoholics Anonymous. They says you need to find a higher power, and I thought, fucking higher power. What's that about? I don't believe in that shit. You know what I mean? And but I kept going to these meetings. I kept having sobriety, and every time I had a drink, it was like a breakdown. And then something really bad had happened. I remember jumping out of a bedroom window just to go out to get a drink with no shoes and socks on, and fucking it was just horrendous. And everybody who knew me just. It was honest. It really was. If anybody would have seen me, they wouldn't have believed it was me. But I kept when I couldn't physically drink no more. You know what I mean? I'd get some sobriety, get a couple of days of sobriety. I'd either start drinking again, or I'd get a bit longer. And I thought, fuck it, I've got to put everything into this. I thought, I've got to fight this, man. I thought, I've got to fight it. I've got to fight it. And I carried on going to the meetings, the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and they kept talking about this higher power. And I kept thinking, fucking higher power. You know what I mean? But it also says in the promises of Alcoholics Anonymous that if you really want to desire to stop drinking, that you will go to any lengths, And I thought, yeah, that's me. I don't want this. I don't want to be this man no more. I want to go to any lengths. And I kept trying, and then I managed to go. They suggested to me to do 90 meetings in 90 days, and I did that. And then I managed to get me a sponsor and get on the 12 steps. But I got on to steps 4 and 5, and then I drank again. So really, I nailed step 1. Step 1 is like to admitting that your life is totally powerless and you can't drink again. And then I had to do 3 months sobriety again, then get back on the steps again. And I did it the second time. I did it right. But I went to a box. My last drink was on the 28th of October, 2015. And I'd been doing all right. I'd had a bit of sobriety. And I went to Bar Sports in Cannock to meet Carl Flute. And it was a good night. And went with a few lads who I know, and they pushed a drink my way. And not knowing like how bad that I am, you know what I mean? Because I took the drink, I took it, and that was it. It just set me off again, you know what I mean? And then I made a show of myself, and then my girlfriend had to get me out of there, and then they got me back to her house. Then I just carried on drinking, just bottle after bottle after bottle. Spirits, just neat, just no beer, no nothing. It ain't strong enough. You know what I mean? I just drank bottle after bottle like that till I passed out, and I'll just get enough strength to go and get some more. And I don't know what to do, but because I kept thinking, like, been talking about this higher power, I popped in a local church. I started speaking to a few people, just to try to find out what it was about, to understand it, like, And I'd made friends with one guy called John Crampton, and he knew I was a good guy, and he knew I was trying. He knew I don't want to be, I don't what I was trying to change. I don't know. I stuck out like a sore thumb, like being rough and ready and that in a church. You know what I mean? But you could see that I was trying. And this particular bender, anyway, lasted for ages. It lasted for nearly 2 weeks, and I was at death's door. I was nearly dead. And my girlfriend found this bloke named John Crampton, and he come and prayed for me. I'm telling you, man. He bought the pastor, Steve Hoyt, and the two of them was by the side of my bed. And they prayed for me, and the pain's still there. I still feel up, and they prayed for me, and and then when they left, I just dropped on my hands and knees, and I just said, God, if you are real, I said, and you take my addiction away from me, I will follow you for the rest of my life. And I knew I meant it, because I did mean it. And from that day on, I've never had another drink or a drug, or never wanted to. You know what I mean? God totally removed it. He just took it away, just like that. You know what I mean? And that was on the 28th, so I still get a bit tearful. You know what I mean? Because it brings back so much pain, and the Holy Spirit comes in. And I never had another drink since. So I was told that I had a spiritual awakening where I felt the presence of God, and I never wanted to drink again. And then when I was on the 12 steps, I got back on the 12 steps of recovery, and I was writing an inventory out of all the people that I'd harmed. Because don't forget, I had done some bad things, criminal things. I used to beat people up for money, and I'd done some things, you know what I mean? Done a lot of debt collecting and a lot of things and all that, and caused a lot of people a lot of pain and that, you know what I mean? And I've done this inventory where I was willing to make amends, and writing an inventory about all the people that I'd harmed. And I writ this inventory, like, I writ it all down. I writ it honestly. I writ it honest. And then when I was doing the steps 4 and 5, I had the presence of God to go through my body again, where I had another spiritual awakening. And my sponsor seen it. My sponsor said, Andy, he said, God's just touched you, ain't he? And I said, how do you know? He said, I've seen it. And I says, wow. I said, man, I've never felt nothing like that in my life. I said, that's really strange. He said, Andy, he says, all them people you've harmed, he said, all them things what you've done, he said, God's just forgiven you for it. And then the following month, on the 11th of November 2015, I got baptised at the church, Sedgley Community Church, and as I come through the water, I just felt a whole new different bloke. 2 Corinthians 5:17, 18 in the Bible says you are a new creation. the old life has gone and the new is here. And that's what happened to me. That is the that's what happened. And since then, I've devoted myself to being a born again Christian, to helping others. I don't do nothing wrong. I've got I'm a registered charity. I've got a ministry. I train young boxers. I disciple them through. I just do everything I can around the country, talking in prisons because I was a prisoner. And when they see a tough bloke like me, say I love God because God's got what God did for me, and people are inspired by my testimony and everything else, and they know they know it's real for somebody like me and the way I was and how committed I am to God. They know it's real. You know what I mean? And you can see the way I am today. Like I always shed a tear when it takes me back to it, But I've got a good life today, and I'm lucky. But that's only because, see, I asked God into my life. God will never come into your life if you don't ask Him. You know what I mean? He won't ever force His way on in your life. He won't ever trespass on your free will. Because I asked Him, and I said, I'll follow you for the rest of my life. He knew I meant it. He knew a day half and half. A day want to sit on the fence. A day want to, he knew I meant it. He knew I meant it. And that's why I've been set free from addiction, and because my heart was right. I mean, I've seen other people try and do the same thing, but their heart ain't right. You know what I mean? And he knew my heart was right. My book, Jesus in my corner, it's just gone from strength to strength. I read that myself in recovery with a pen and paper. A day I no ghostwriter, no nothing. A day I have no help, nothing. My girlfriend bought me a book when I was broken, bought me a journal, and I wrote it, and I said, start writing some of the people you've been in the ring with, because I've been in the ring with 11 world champions and lots more contenders, about half a dozen contenders. And I've gone toe to toe with all of them. You know what I mean? And it says, you are this man, you're a shiv, like you're not this man. It says, right, just start writing some of the names you've been in the ring with. And that's it. I never intended to be a book. It just started off just as a self-help therapy. And then I got my scrapbooks out. I started to feel a bit better. And I started to get a bit of normality in my head, started to come right. And then I managed to write and write and write. And it turned into a book. I mean, so.
Andy, I think you're amazing, mate. I genuinely mean it, and for people who haven't got a faith, you're just a testament to what God can do in people's lives, and that you gave, you were at the end. There's no other way to describe it. You were at the end of being here, and you couldn't cope anymore, and look at you now, mate. It's not just your wallpaper that's sparkling, mate.
It's good, man. It's good.
It's incredible. Good.
I even asked Joe Kawasaki to write in the back of the book. Me and Joe Kawasaki are still friends to this day. And he wrote a bit for me in the back of this book. I'm still in touch with him today. Joe's great. I mean, but out of all the sparring partners, out of all the people I share the ring with, I'd say Joe's the best. I mean,
he's one of the best of all time, and there's no denying it at all. And you've been a part of that, Andy. And credit to you, mate. Honestly, the journey you've been on, and what you're doing in all walks of life. Going around the prisons, doing your talks, taking boxers on their journey. Absolutely incredible. And there's not many people. My wife will tell you I don't get speechless often, and but you're an incredible man. You are.
Well, listen, I was just a normal average fighter. It was tough, but what my book's about, ain't about how great a boxer I was or anything like that, because I wasn't. You know what I mean? I was just a tough guy who can hold me up. You know what I mean? But what God did for me, that's what the book's about. You know what I mean? You know, all credit to him. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no higher name than Jesus, and he allowed that book to be called that. You know what I mean? You know, and what I did and the stuff I did and the accomplishments and all that is nothing to what, when the people I share the ring with, is nothing to what he did. He just took my addiction away just like that in a second. You know what I mean? You know, I never wanted a drink or a drug since, and that's amazing. You know, I've been 5 years, 7 months, and my life's just gone from strength to strength. And like I said, because I turned to God, the worst thing that ever happened to me turned out to be the best thing. Do you know what I mean? And I can say that to anybody. If anybody's got any problems listening to this, you know, if you're good to God with a honest heart and the right motives, not the wrong motives, you've got to be honest because he can see straight through you. You know what I mean? You call lie to him and you call kid him. He knows everything. He knows every hair on your head. Do you know what I mean? But if you go to him with an honest heart, like I did, a pure heart with the right motives, whatever problem you've got, Romans 10:13 says, anybody who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. That's your answer. You know what I mean?
Well, on that note, Andy, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, I think you're a star, and stay in touch, won't you? And you know, blimey, hopefully one day we'll get to meet in person because it's amazing to speak to someone and share testimony with someone.
But back to the boxing, I can truthfully say I never got in the ring with anybody where I was at my depth. You know what I mean? You know, even if I was hungover or I hadn't been off, I still never, you know, I still could have done a lot better, a lot more. But you know, I did what I did. I'm proud of what I did. It was all right. You know, I mean, I did all right. Saying I done half of it. You know, like only 70% of what I could do. But I enjoyed every minute of it, the sparring jobs and all the stuff like that. You know, it was you know, I always think I was on my holidays. You know what I mean? And when I fought for the British title, which was live on BBC One on Sports Night, that was another great thing. I sold 10 grand off for tickets. That was great. You know, I've had some in boxing for England and stuff like that. You know, it's been, you know, I've had a lifetime of it, like, you know, and I'm still involved today, and it's just great, to be honest. And I'm just applied to get my professional license back, my trainer's license, because I had Jason Wellborn to start with and a few other fighters before I went to prison, and then I lost them. And I've got a few other fighters who have just come back to me now, and they want me to take them professional. So watch this space. I'll be doing that as well. You know, so you know,
well,
still involved. You know,
good luck to you, Andy, and the journey continues. I think is going to be the next book. I think you know there's got to be a follow up, mate, because he's still doing amazing stuff in your life. And
well, I mean, where it's took me. I mean, like I said, I've been on because of my book. I've been on Christian TV. You know, 3 million viewers in the UK, 150 odd countries. I've recently just been on Revelation TV, 170 countries, 5 million viewers. You know, I'm still doing more. I've just done a podcast. I've done a podcast with James English. I've done that much stuff. You know, I've done more. Like I said, if you get to God, it can turn your life around better than it ever was. You know what I mean? And when I was boxing and doing all that stuff, what I did and all that, you know, my life's nowhere near as good as it is today. You know what I mean? It's, you know, even before I was alcoholic or before my life, I got peace and I got love. I just, in my heart today, I'm contented. You know, I ain't got a problem. If anybody tries to, you know, I'll just turn the other cheek and I'll pray for them. You know what I mean? That's how I've been. You know, I don't have to be that man no more. You know what I mean? You know, God sees everything what we do. You know what I mean? And the only person I'm interested in pleasing is him. You know what I mean? Because he pulled me out when I was a goner. I don't take no credit for it. The only thing I did was ask with the right motives. You know what I mean? And that's all. I'm lucky to be here and I'm blessed. Deuteronomy 28, I'm blessed. Everything I do, I'll be blessed. You know what I mean?
Honestly, your journey's just amazing, and yeah,
Yeah.
as I say, I really appreciate your time, and you know, if people get the chance, Jesus in My Corner, the book, give it a look,
Yeah.
and we're not going
Yeah.
to see the end of Andy Flute, because
No.
we're going to see him in people's corners soon when they're in the pro game and they're winning world
Yeah.
titles. So
Yeah, man. I've got a good heavyweight kid. He's 6'5", 17 stone. He's had 60 amateur, 150. He's going to be a good lad. I mean,
yeah,
and make a big. I mean, so I'm looking forward to it. The next chapter. The next book will be even better. I mean.
well, Andy, thank you very much for your time. And
Okay, well,
as I say, stay in touch.
I
And
will.
yeah, God bless you, my friend.
Sure.
You
All
take
right. And you, mate.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Been a pleasure. All
Take
right.
care, man. Andy Flute, well, what a story. His book, Jesus in My Corner, available to buy. And yeah, just what a life. The drink, the drugs, everything. You know, had an amazing career going in boxing, and he just said, as his career took off in boxing, so did his alcohol. And yeah, definitely read the book, and yeah, check out anything he's involved with, because he's a changed man, and you can see it there. So yeah, hats off to Andy Flute and his fighters in the future. I wish them all the best, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. You've been watching JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button on the channel. Check out the rest of the content, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much.
Oh, you